Sweet tea.
Mm-hmm.
From where? That's what counts. Where the sweet tea from?
It's the one with the blue label. You know, they have the raspberry as well and the peach. It's not Turkey Hill, unfortunately.
You talking about the peaks? It's like peak. It's something peaks.
I think so. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I think it is peaks. I think peaks is the. Oh yeah, they are. They all right. They get the pass. They get the natural pass, the organic pass.
Okay, don't do that. Don't be like.
We hot. We back. My vibes is not on. We lunching. No, hold on. All right, now we back once again. You know, we got B in the house. And B, where you at?
I am in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Ooh, is it hot?
Surprisingly, no, it's not.
I'm like, we was on the phone earlier. I was like, let me get like 10 degrees.
It's supposed to be 101 tomorrow, so I'm not excited about that.
Let me get 10 degrees. In Scottsdale, Arizona, they're doing the Oliveira and Gaethje fight. That's going to be May 7th.
Yeah, Mr. Backpack himself.
Mr. Backpack.
I'm an aspiring backpack. I'm about to put that in my profile. Aspiring backpack.
Right in the bio. As long as they know where it's at.
Yep. Long as you know.
So recently we had UFC Vegas 52. Lemos versus Andrade had the ladies going at it. And it was a good night. It was a good fight night. And I was pleased. I was pleased with the main card for sure.
I was too, and I was surprised, but I knew that Lemos and Andre fight was gonna be good because they both got something to prove, and it turned out to be a great fight. Short one, but great. So
yeah, we're gonna get into it. Let's talk about it. Hey, it's the RoundHouse RoundTable. Let's get it.
I swear my glow up in lightning. Hot, yeah, something like lightning. This shit a hit on my psychic. She want me lick, I'm excited. See, I feel that's my business, and that's why I'm business minded. Need a push, get behind it. It's science, apply it. Words come to words, you tried it. Get it bad, get inspired. Shoot your shot, it's the effort. I admire. You're hired, ain't looking for friends at this point. My circle is small as a point. Yeah, I'd rather send an invoice than hearing the fake on their voice. It sound like a business report. Don't fuck with the business. One part of the RoundHouse RoundTable, me, Armani T, and I got my homie, my brother.
It's the ROD. Let's get it, man. Let's talk about it.
Say please. That's one, please. Don't need no one, that's two, please.
UFC Vegas 52. Andrade versus Lemos. No cap recap. Let's start with the prelim. Let's get into it.
The first one, that DQ, man.
That was a hard eye poke.
It was a hard eye poke, and it looked like he scratched the bottom of his eye, but that also came after he got kicked in the dick really hard. Like, it was intense, but the fact that he was able to hold a conversation, I got a couple complaints about that. The commentators commented on it, but before that, you can tell they were trying to coach. They were super annoying about that, talking about rolling the shoulder, Mayweather. I'm like, oh my goodness, why y'all? Okay, yeah. So that was a little bit annoying. And then that kick to the dick, he said, fuck the diamond cup. I was like, this man has too much
went
energy.
Right through the diamond. Yeah, he was a fucking comedian on the ground though.
Yeah, he has too much energy on the ground. That was a little bit annoying. But then right afterwards, he got poked in the eye, scratched in the eye, is what it looked like. He got scratched in the eye, but he was not winning that fight. And it's just like, he don't want to fight this man no more, which was crazy. That was crazy.
Yep. He was like, nope, I'm good. Don't want to fight like this.
Yeah.
When he won, his eye was open. I was like, how is he opening his eye? Like, he's looking around. People are talking to him. His coach told him to come looked at him real quick. And then that's when they both made eye contact, he like kind of like blinked again, like it was hurting. I can understand it might be a little sore, but if he was still able to see, and if it wasn't that bad, but it looked bad. It looked bad enough to just be like, all right, nah.
It did, but he was also able to open his eye. And then before he was like, I can't open my eye. He had a whole
Yeah.
towel on it and everything. He
Yeah.
was just, giving the charades on. And then at the end, like once it's over, they called it. Like
Mm-hmm.
now you can open your eyes. Very
Yeah.
suspicious,
He was like, I don't want it to go like that. I don't want it to
Yeah,
go
I don't
like
want to
that.
lose,
I
but
don't.
you shouldn't want to win like that either. But some
Yeah.
people are different.
Dean Barry, it seemed like the tide was shifting in his direction, but the boxing aspect with Mike Jackson, that shoulder roll that they was talking about, like that Mayweather does. Yeah, Mayweather does it, but Mike Jackson was exaggerating it, and you could see that when he was waiting, he was like waiting for it to roll with it. He was really getting a lot of good opportunities off that shoulder roll though. Like that
He
was helping him.
but he was starting to get pieced up as well. Like once he started to find his flow, it was gonna be lights out for him real soon. So I think that's why he was just like, I'd rather not have it end that way. But like every fight's not gonna be like that. You're gonna have to get in there and go in the trenches, and it's you have to be ready for it. So
But I think he just counted his loss for counted his W. He was just like, this is an early fight. It's not like a championship fight, something a title contender fight. Like, so, I guess he chalked this one up, and
some people are different.
now he could just hop back in the gym. Yeah, some people are different because some people guys like Bisping are going to fight, with that eye. Fuck it. Like I remember DC Daniel Cormier, his whole eye was like tilted a whole different way because from an eye poke, and he was like, "No, I'm all right." Like, what the fuck? These guys that's what I'm saying.
Are different.
They be different.
Some people
different breed.
Yeah,
different breed.
Yeah, but every fight not gonna go like that. So just be ready next time. That's it.
So that was Dean Barry versus Mike Jackson.
Shout out to Barry for that hard ass tattoo on his stomach. That shit was lit.
Yeah, like that takes a different mindset to just sacrifice. I don't want people to see my abs. You know what I'm saying? That's like, I don't want people to see my abs. I don't care about nothing.
No, it was just the tattoo is just nice, and it's the perfect placement, and it just looks good. So I'm sure you could still see his abs through it if he had like rock hard abs, but he's not at that stage right now. So
at the fighting stage, like that's damn near like depleted, like calories and shit. But for real, they be coming to how you see them at weigh-ins. Felipe Lins versus Marcin Prahino.
That was a dog fight.
Yeah, this was I'm about to say. This was
a dog fight. Yeah, but Lins was beating him up, and just Pacquiao, he was surviving. It got to a point where he was surviving, but he was still being active. But you can tell he was just mostly surviving, especially in the third round. But I thought it was a good fight, but definitely those takedowns were great.
Yeah. And it's just like a lot of these guys, they just dismiss that groundwork. They get so caught up in those knockouts and being light heavyweight. Nah, them guys is gonna roll with you now. Like those guys that are quick, they're gonna roll. They're gonna move around with you. And I think Prahino, maybe he didn't, maybe he underestimated this one. I don't know. He thought he had this one in the bag.
Well, I could see that's where he went wrong. So
in a bad way, because
in a bad way, yep. Like you can't be underestimating people. That's just, you can't do that.
Super close fight to me.
It was.
It was close in the sense of how many times Lins almost could have went out. Like how many times he came close to not having a fight and being in there for 15 minutes because he was the underdog. And if I would have bet this time, good thing I didn't, I probably would
You've been taking a break from them bettings.
because I had to, because it's like I had that awesome W with the Aljo fight, and that's when I was like, okay, let me take some time off now, because I know these other two fights, I know they're not going to really be hitting it hard, but this weekend, Rob Font Jose.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about dope. So Preston Parsons versus Evan Elder. Evan Elder came in on short notice. Last fight for Parsons was the short notice fight.
Mm-hmm.
Parsons just seemed like he was like the step better. Like, you know, he seemed like he had a full camp. You know what I'm saying? He seemed like he was ready. You know?
Yeah. And then, but I did notice there was a lot of coaching in round one from the commentators for Parsons. And like, I get really annoyed, but it also shows you who they're going for because they want to give that person the most advice coaching. But Parsons' ground and pound was severe. That and the takedowns were immaculate, how he was just switching it at the last minute to get those legs. That is where I'm aspiring to be. Because he has it figured out. He really does have it figured out. And then the head and arm was there all day. But
every time.
Sweat was in the way. But the way he was getting out of that was so smooth. And I was like, I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try that.
That's something that, like, I gotta say, like, Evan Elder's jiu-jitsu and defense is elite.
Nice.
It's elite. Like,
most definitely.
Especially first round, every time that he got him down, it was like he was using proper technique to get himself right back up. So
yeah,
Evan Elder, I saw when he said in the camera, he was like, "Give me a full fight cam, watch," and I believe him. His boxing was slick.
He got to invest in himself. Like, that's part of being a well-rounded fighter. That
was his UFC debut too.
Well, he did good. Like, I wouldn't count him out. Like, he didn't get knocked out. He went the full rounds, and he was just making it to the end. I thought it was a really good fight, but Parson definitely had his takedown was immaculate. It was just, it was immaculate. So, but he did good though.
He did the work that Evan Elder is about to do now.
Absolutely.
He did that. It's good that he got to see himself get some footage. I don't see the UFC like denying him any fights. I know the UFC wants to see him fight again. Shit, I want to see him fight again.
Yeah, because like, I think it'll be great.
Exactly. You know, as both of them. I want to see both of them fight again. That's the thing about it. That's how this was such a good fight, because you want to see both of the fighters again. Normally, you don't. One might get shut out, and you might not even know their name, and you might forget about their name. But it was a good fight. Shout out to Preston Parsons. He did his thing. Next, speaking of did their thing, god damn.
Arichi Long. I had to write the pronunciation out because I was like, I gotta be ready. I'm trying. So if that's not it, I'm sorry. They had it wrong too. So
Arichi Long,
man,
versus Cameron Else.
The way he flattened that man out before the beatings, that it was so smooth. It was so smooth that he just
yep, because he was beating them so bad, because it was like Cameron Else already quit prior to the hands. Like, he already once he put his hands over his head and submitted, it was his legs, that the leg activity was which made the ref keep thinking he was still fighting. But that was Art Long behind him, like flattening him out.
But I do want to point out something. Else had a nasty big toe. It looked like it was infected. It was discolored and everything. I don't know if that was due to the foot stomping or if it was already there, but I noticed it when they were on the ground. The big toe on his right foot was discolored. I'm wondering if it happened from that foot stomp. Just want to throw that out there.
You said it was discolored?
It was discolored.
Oh, I didn't see that. Shit. Go back and look.
Yeah, go back and look and make sure you put it right there.
Came through with the round one dub versus Cameron Else. I thought Cameron Else was gonna, do something else, but Art Long, he came in there on a mission.
Yep.
That was obvious.
Yep.
That was obvious. And he went down in weight. So now, that strength,
this looks like a good weight class for him. He might be right at home with this weight class. So I'm looking forward to see him fight again and see what happens.
Hell yeah. I'm waiting to see too what he could do it in 3 rounds. Cause like at first, this is 1 round and he's just a slugger. So he'd be trying to get it done.
I wonder what his gas tank is like.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, because that's
the big question. Can we even see you in the championship space? Like, that gas tank, like, because that's something that you could work on, but it, you can only get so far with it and learn how to control it and manage it.
Yeah, that's true.
Next,
Ooh.
Tyson Pedro versus Ike Villanueva. Round 1.
I got a lot of things to say about this.
Round 1.
But that man stalking was crazy.
Just poaching, like just
it was intense. And he kept the same face the entire time. And DC even commented on it. He said, like, yeah, I like the face, but he's not really throwing anything. But when he did, each time it was on target. The first and second time, it was straight back. Didn't have a lot of power, but it was on point. So, but also Villanueva, he looked like he knew he was going to lose that fight. He didn't have the confidence at the start of the match, and he looked like he just wanted to go out there and get it over with. So that was his defeating moment to me. But also in the ring, Pedro hit him with this eye contact. He did this like, hey, we up here, because he was just stalking and watching him the entire time. And then Villanueva is just looking down and around and then got popped. So he like, hey, make this icon. He was just breaking his spirit down the entire time. But that third leg kick had him wobbling. It took him 3 leg kicks. And then on the fourth one, that was it. He was calling it out. And it looked so his leg looked just like a little poor dog. It was all up and limp. And it was just like, oh, please don't get it again. He just looked so sad. I felt so bad for him. But he went in there and got it done. He definitely had a lot to prove from all his previous surgery. Oh, yeah. The man looked great, though. His physique looked great. He just looked like he was just ready there. And this is what he's been waiting on. He looked phenomenal, though. So I'm excited to see him and more fights in the future to see what else you have for us. Because that was great.
Same. It's just like one of those guys who had those layoffs. So like now it's time to get to it. Like you got the round one, done. So now it's time to see what's next. And Ike Villanueva, I'm thinking like, why you ain't think about the knees? Like why you ain't think about the knees? Like I don't know if that was just like a thing, like a moral thing. Like no, I ain't going to do that. But I was thinking like. If that was something like he's going after your legs, he literally almost ended the fight based on your legs because it wasn't the leg that ended the fight. It was that straight uppercut while he was on the ground, but on the mat against the cage.
Yeah, but that leg was done though, so he didn't want to keep going. It was just the icing on the cake. Had to be, sprinkled on top at the end, because sometimes you have to do that because refs don't want to stop it. We'll talk about that because one went on too long that should have been stopped.
Exactly.
So,
Well, shout out to Tyson Pedro. Welcome back. Light heavyweight has been waiting for you. Oh, yeah. It's a lot going on. So I wonder who he's gonna fight next.
I'm excited to see it because he just looked great. So whoever he goes against need to have a gas tank. They need to be ready to go all 3 rounds.
That's the in question too. So if it's going to be 2 people that are just gassing each other out. Next, fight of the night. You got Dwight Grant versus Sergey Khandosco.
Grant was doing so good in the beginning.
He was.
It went downhill. I was rooting for him, but
it was the pressure.
And I think but that goes back to being a well-rounded fighter, mentally, physically. You need all of that. That's all important. You need to be able to channel yourself and tune things out that makes too much noise and throw you off your game. And even when it throws you off your game, you still need to be able to navigate through the trenches because that's where it matters.
Round 2, Sergey got it done.
Definitely did.
I think Dwight Grant was looking good in the first, of course. But like I said, the pressure was really like just building. And it's like he panicked against the cage.
Yeah.
And Sergey knew that's what he was doing because it seemed like he did it once or twice before he actually finished him against the cage. He'll get himself too close to the cage before he wants to start doing the fake juke and fainting and all that. And then when Sergey's already pressing forward, it's already too late. Like the next thing you do is just back up. Next thing you do, that your head is against the cage and the fist is against your face. So
unfortunately, and that's just another fight that shows you it ain't over till it's over because you can't get defeated in the first round. Because if you do, it's gonna show, unfortunately. So you gotta
It
keep
like
pushing forward.
it's the mental defeat
Mm-hmm.
that's in there. It's just like, but that's what fighting is. You're going to a point where you break your opponent. Like, so what,
Psychological warfare.
whether it's mentally or physically,
It's
like,
both.
because no, you could beat somebody physically and they not mentally be beaten. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like you seen Connor yell up against the cage with his leg broken.
Yeah, but that's just he gotta say something. Speaking of Connor, he's supposed to be back in the ring in the fall. I want to see him beat the dog shit out of him.
What is he if Volkanovski do this, he
In
doing this for
his
the clout.
career.
He doing this for the
End his
clout.
career.
He doing it for the clout.
Whatever the case may be.
Shout out to Sergi though on getting it done. Dwight Grant, I don't know. I know Sergi going up now. I know now he's in a conversation of like who's next for him. Speaking of next, Jordan Wright versus Marc-Andre Barriot.
Deep guillotine.
Yeah.
There's a deep guillotine.
Jordan Wright got the right head for a guillotine. Like, you could get that right. Once you get the back of the head crimped right there, it's a wrap. It's not going nowhere else. Like, you got all that space because the head length. I'm just saying, like, that was elite.
You know what was elite? The next guillotine that happened after that. That was elite. Oh yeah. Man, that was elite.
Yeah. Shout out to Barriot. We have, since B want to get right into it, then let's get right into the main card.
Yep.
All right. Let's talk about it. Lando Venata versus Charles Jourdain, Air Jourdain. Hey, we gotta go with the Air Jourdain. Came through with the round one
guillotine.
Round one with the one-arm guillotine. Goddamn.
And you know what he said? He was like, that is something that I practice. When you do it with two hands, it doesn't get as deep. But once you got it, you got it. And I was like, you know what? I'm about to go perfect that because two-hand guillotines don't work for me. So I'm excited to try that on you, actually.
I like to do like get underneath and then get my arm across their back and just keep reaching across their back.
Oh, I like that.
It gets super tight.
Oh, it looks like it.
And then even if it's not all the way under the chin, it still creeps under the chin. It's kind of like that wrenching motion, finger walking.
I know. Okay. Thank you.
Been working on my finger walking.
Thank you for the tip.
Yeah. That's the tip. Like, of course, that's what it is. That's what, that's the jiu-jitsu world. That's the martial arts world. And next, one-arm guillotine is super elite. I think Jourdain just wanted to get it over with because he's still leveling out to his competition level. And it's going to take a little bit of time. But Charles Jourdain is definitely going up and is top 10 potential for real.
I'm excited to see him next as well. He also said that people forget that he a black belt. So,
you don't forget that.
He don't. People don't forget. So I guess that was a good reminder. So I'm excited to see what he has in store for the future as well. It's going to be great.
That's a big reminder. One-handed guillotine, like, that's crazy. It's some other crazy submissions going on. Elites. So next we got Macy Barber versus Montana De La Rosa. Oh, you like the accent? She like the accent. No. I see you. Yeah, came through with the unanimous decision. She got this one. This one was not a layup. This was not. And I say that because sometimes, like, it seemed like Macy Barber had gotten some hard layups, and then they still nudged it her way. This is, the judges were actually very, very true. I can say that I didn't have too many disagreements with the judges for this event compared to, last event, with all those like inconsistencies and
so inconsistent.
Yeah. So anyway, I ain't trying to get too sidetracked,
Yeah.
De La Rosa, this one broke my heart because I really wanted De La Rosa to come through with the W. I was going to put money on her, but good thing I didn't bet this past weekend. Macy Barber just wanted it more. Like she ain't trying to lose her damn job.
Yeah.
That's because that's where it's getting. She's really seeing that like the competition level is definitely changing based on those layups that she got that were not really layups. She had to really put some body into that.
Yeah, she kept getting her on the ground though, and just making it her world. She made it look easy for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what's next.
I was about to say, speaking of making it look easy, Claudio Puelles versus Clay Guida with the knee bar in round one.
He rolled into it. He rolled into it so smooth.
Elite.
It was very elite. I am anxious to see what's next for this man because he is a problem.
You don't just be able to hit that like 3 times in your UFC career. Like just hitting it on guys. Like that's saying that is a very weak point that guys don't focus on is that roll. And a lot of guys are willing to roll with you because they don't think about those small increments of the second of like going all the way over because there's a lot of things happening as you're going over. And like, even I'm still learning that, like, you get to the other side, you're getting choked out.
But yeah, he said he doesn't even practice that in the gym. He said that's just something that he does. And I'm like, what? But he must do it off that roll because I saw him isolate the leg before he hit the roll. And I was like, yes, this is about to happen. He made it a quick night. And then he even did it against an elite wrestler. So that shows you what he's going to potentially do to people. And I'm excited to see it.
He didn't even see it coming. It happened so fast. Like just seeing it in live action when it first happened, I was like, whoa, wait, what just happened? And now I got a feeling that people in the UFC, you want to see this a lot more. You're going to see a lot more knee bars in the UFC. Watch what I say.
Point.
Watch, yeah. Apparently
it's going to be that, or they're going to make it like some kind of rule, some type of rule against it. So I think you're going to get both. You're going to get an increase in knee bars, but that's going to cause some type of rule to be created about knee bars.
Yeah, well, that depends. That depends because that they kind of it's kind of like the same thing with the oblique kicks. Those high kicks close to the knee. Like I think a lot of it has not been enough like fight enders / career enders.
I see what you're saying. So
for that to happen,
careers, then it's probably gonna happen.
So right now, I guess it's just excitement until people actually start
just
really
going overboard with it, or people not tapping in time, and
because that knee, that's another thing with a knee bar. Like you don't know it's really tight sometimes until sometimes it's too late. You got to just understand pressures sometimes, not pain. Yeah, because those knee bars a lot of times is pressure. Same thing with the the calf slicers and arm slicers and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true. But I guess we'll see what happens, but I'm excited to see who he faces next.
Clay Guida didn't have a chance though.
He did not, and I hope it's against somebody who is also a black belt, so we can see like some real groundwork. But before that, the way that he was just shifting and just offering a different submission every time they were rolling, that was elite too. So you knew something was coming fast.
And Clay Guida did do a good job defending some of those submissions because a lot of those were definitely there, but he was just like, oh nope. And that seemed like that was a lot of muscle memory and just already just doing a lot of rolling and being on the ground already.
Yep.
And Clay, he's been going on a run and he's been doing his thing, but Claudio definitely needed this one to get the attention, and I think that's what it did. Speaking of get the attention, Jessica Andrade versus Amanda Lemos.
Oh man, like low key, I was hoping Lemos would win, but in my heart, I knew she wasn't gonna win because Andre, like, she is very decorated. She's a heavy hitter, and she definitely has something to prove trying to climb back up in her weight class. So I knew she was going to be a problem, and I knew it was going to be a good fight. But in the beginning, it was not going her way. She was definitely getting them leg kicks, and she was getting pressed out, and when nothing happening. But then she capitalized on a small window she had, and it was successful. It was beautiful.
That's something that I always notice from the people who haven't, the fighters who haven't really their first time doing a 5-round fight. They really kind of go all in the first round, and you'll see the person who's already been there. Normally, the person who's been there longer or been done more 5-round fights, or the champion. You'll see them let them get off what they need to get off in the first round, and it seemed like that's what Jessica Andrade was doing. Just let her get off what she wanted to get off in the first round. I was worried that like if the fight was going to go on, Lemos was going to continue to do that. And I don't think Jessica Andrade would have been able to answer to that besides take her to the ground. And the wild thing about it was
she got a good ground game too.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. The wild thing about that was she was like, okay, I ain't gonna take you to the ground then.
Yeah, because she definitely had the option to take it to the ground. I am watching somebody do a TikTok right now, and it's so cringy. Oh my God. Oh. Oh man, that was so cringy. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. It was just no, that's not the one. It was the open the leg one. It was so bad. Oh my goodness. I wish I would have recorded it, but sorry. Yeah, she just I think she was very hesitant to take it to the ground because it looked like at one point she wanted to get her on the ground, but that height advantage, like she got them long legs and long arms. I can just wrap around you, and it's going to be a lot easier for me. And she would be at the advantage. So it was in her best interest to stay up and just squeeze like an anaconda, and it worked in her favor. I ain't mad at it. I'm not mad.
She used the cage. She used her height. She used her strength. Perfectly all in that moment to get that perfect submission. That's like the perfect example when I be telling people like that's why I like watching women fights, because I don't know why for men it seemed like that doesn't happen that often. That something like that won't happen that often. And to see it now, it's just like we could do that. Like, oh, we could do that. Like a lot of times guys wouldn't think about doing that. Like, no, I'm gonna take him to the ground. No, like no. She was elite in that moment. Like that's why
you got it.
Exactly. So that's why I was just happy to see that. Like just to be the first time that happened. Like she made some history on this fight night. Like that's big.
And a beautiful thing.
Standing arm triangle. I was confused because like when it comes to the arm triangle, the head and arm choke, I mess up in the areas of like finding where to put your knee and the twist. Like it takes like damn near perfect mechanics to get a head and arm choke, and she got that shit standing up. That's what I'm saying.
What's his face? Let's see. Parson and Elder. Take some notes. You might want to hit her up by the head and arm because I know it was slipping out and sweaty, but she got it. You might want to just get a couple of notes from her. So, but she used everything that she had. She used her height, her cage, and she got the victory. I'm really not mad at it, and I'm really looking forward to see her fight again.
Sure. See the difference with Parsons and Elder. Elder was always really good about getting his body turned.
Yes, he was.
So it's just like, and like you said, they was all slippery. So like they were in the first round. So they was still like dry. That little bit of damp where everything's still like sticky, like and grindy. So that was just elite. That was
some elite stuff, but she is elite herself. So I'm ready for that. I'm ready for her next fight. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, she looking for somebody with the belt.
That's what she looking. Come find me. That's what they need to be saying. Come find me.
She's looking for somebody with the belt. But that was a no cap recap. Let's skim over the Fontvera card real quick.
All right.
Real quick.
Yeah, I didn't look at
any names that stand out. Any names? Okay, Francisco Figueiredo Daniel Figueiredo's brother. He's going against Daniel Lasarda, flyweight. Gerald Mearshart versus Jocko, Darren Old Man Elkins.
Old man.
Derek the Train Elkins. Yeah, but that's the thing. Like he a beast.
That old man strength is a real thing.
It's a real fucking thing.
So like, don't knock him out.
Jared Gordon versus Grant Dawson. Grant Dawson, I think he trains out of here. Andre Feely versus Brito. They got some good fights. Arlovsky, Jake Collier, then Rob Font, Marlon Vera. Ooh, who you got?
The good thing about this card is I don't have any bias. So it's just gonna be good fights. I'm just hoping to just see good fights.
Yeah, I'm betting on this one. I'm making some bets on this one.
Okay, do what you gotta do.
For sure. I think Rob Font going to do this. I think Rob
Font.
So? Yeah, Rob Font is just like a levels better.
But
I haven't seen Marlon Vera in a while. But this is going to speak to if Sean O'Malley should be up in the top 5.
Oh.
That's what Marlon Vera was like pretty much the biggest test so far for Sean O'Malley. And Rob Font is Marlon Vera's biggest challenge. So I can't wait to see what's going to happen with that.
Should be a good fight then.
Hell yeah. I'm in there. That was the No Cap Recap. That's next week. Make sure y'all go find us at Instagram, YouTube. Make sure you catching up with us soon. It's gonna be some merch coming out. Watch out. Real one, RoundHouse collabs. I'll make sure you subscribing, tuning in with us, catching us on Apple, Spotify. We out here.
In them streets.
What you guys say, B?
We out here in the streets.
No, you are. You gotta bring your ass back home in a little bit.
Yeah, coming off tour soon. I'll be home soon, my love. I've been on tour on the road doing shows. I haven't doing shows anywhere.
Nah, she out here doing shows. You on the road, going to shows and stuff.
That's more like it. Yes, that's very true.
But all right, it's been another episode of the RoundHouse RoundTable. I appreciate y'all rocking with us, and thank you, B, for stopping by again. Always in the cut, always clutch. Thank you. I appreciate it. Love ya. Love y'all. Yeah. We out of here.
We out.
All right, I'm gonna let this. Nah, I gotta get that smile a bit too.
That's all right. I use the heat as a sword, cause keep the peace is important. They go keys for you. Say please. That's one, please. Don't need. No one, that's two, please. Don't leave. That's 3, 4. If you do.